Yeah, the age-old debate about a footballing philosophy for Jamaica has been stoked by the arrival of 55-year-old Icelander Heimir Hallgrimsson as head coach of the senior Reggae Boyz. Hallgrimsson, who took Iceland to the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia, has signed a 4-year deal with the Jamaica Football Federation. His first match will be a friendly international against Argentina on September 27 in New Jersey. At his maiden press conference in New Kingston last Friday, the 55-year-old sought to explain how he will be approaching the job of giving Jamaica a footballing identity.
Players are really different characters. They come from different teams, from even different continents. So everybody's used to doing it their way. And professionals are like this. They like to continue to do it their way. So number one for me, the first task is always to build a working environment that when players come to the Jamaican national team, this is how we do it. So it's not like this today, and it's not like that tomorrow, and it don't change if we lose a game. This is how we do it. But like I said before, now I am in a new place, and I have to adjust my philosophy to the place I'm in. But this will be the first task. Not before we can change this, we can start to work properly. So the working environment is number one. The philosophy, how we play, is then based on what players we have. That is my consumption, that you build the formation and how you play football is based on the players you have. You cannot force players to play certain things because I like it. So this is my philosophy, and I hope we can do this all together and be sure, be absolutely sure that when we decide, you will know exactly what we are going to do, because I would like to be judged on what I'm trying to do, not what you and you and you think I should do. So you will be in the know when we start to work.
Now, according to Hallgrimsson, 107 players have worn, well, 107 different players have worn the jersey of the Reggae Boyz in the last 3 years. One member of the media suggested that a lack of commitment on the part of some players may be one of the reasons for the churn. Hallgrimsson then offered his opinion on how to deal with the issue of player commitment, with the JFF president Michael Ricketts also weighing in.
Number one, if it's professional players and they come from a professional environment, we have to step up as a federation to keep the same quality when they come here. I think that is number one, to keep them motivated, if that is kind of what you are asking for. So they have a certain standard as a professional player, so we have to, if it is not good, now I have never been in a camp with Jamaica, so if it's not good, we have to raise the standard for the national team. So it will not be demotivating for players to come and play for Jamaica. That is number one. But in the end, when we have decided, you know, our working environment, our identity, then the question is the player fitting the identity?
That in itself, Leighton, is a challenge, because we are a third world country. We're never probably going to be able to match what a first world country can do. But like we have all agreed that the JFF has actually started the process of rebranding. We will be making a number of internal adjustments, changes, to ensure that it is best practices. And like I've said, we might not be able to even reward a player what he's worth, because we simply cannot afford to. And a number of our issues, 90% of our issues, are affordability. So we are putting a number of things in place, and we will be making a number of adjustments internally to ensure, like I've said, it's best practices going forward.
Mike Ricketts, the JFF president, speaking alongside his newest employee, Heimir Hallgrimsson, the Reggae Boyz head coach. Leighton, you were part of that press confab on Friday last. Let's start with the philosophy issue. What did you pick out of what Hallgrimsson outlined?
Well, he was responding to a question I asked about the national philosophy, because it's
very good question, so I'd expect it to come from you.
I've always held to the idea that if we are not clear about what type of football we want to play, we'll always have issues, because we don't know what type of players we want, we don't know what type of players to bring in, and how when we bring them in, how we want them to play. And that is what pushed my and triggered my question, because in fact that was probably the only question I wanted to ask him. Because 107 players, I think it's more than just player commitment. It's about us, the constant search to try to find the right player to fit a system that we don't even know what it is.
Correct.
Hence, the point that he made, I think, was right in line with my thinking in terms of what we need to do. And I think he hit all the points that needed to have been made about understanding what is it that we want to do and how we get there. Because a football philosophy, is a plan of how we want to play and how we get there. Italy, we know, has a specific plan. You cannot score against them, they hit you on the counter. That's been their philosophy forever. Jamaica needs to develop a philosophy that caters to the skill set of our players, whether it's speed, whether it's power, whether it's the way we play generally. It has to fit the nature of the Jamaican player, and not a wishy-washy thing that changes with each coach that comes in. So I thought he was right on point with what he said in terms of that. Michael Ricketts' response was to a question that I asked as well about how does the JFF plan to raise those standards to meet the international standards, that when the players come here, they feel close to home in terms of what they're expecting. I was a little disappointed with the answer, primarily because it's not only a monetary issue. It's a management issue, it's a structural issue, it's a systemic issue. Take that recent example with the Reggae girls coming back from the World Cup qualifiers, when all that muddle about transfer
luggage.
of flights and luggage and everything. These are the things that I don't think there's anybody in the world that expects the JFF to match Manchester United's or Liverpool's budget. But you can do the simple things and get them right. So the players come, they know that Jamaica has no money, they know the circumstances, but they expect a minimum standard of what to expect in terms of the management of the processes. And that's why I was a little bit disappointed, because it's not just about money, it's about how we approach the professionals that come here. Because one of the things that it needs to be clear is that without the players are the product. If without the players, there is no JFF, there is no administration, there is no federation, because they are the ones that people pay to see. They are the ones who go out there and raise the ranking levels. They are the ones who attract sponsors. And if we have none of that, then there's no reason for it.
Yeah, in the 1 minute we have left, Leighton, I want to just provoke one of the things you said. Why is it important, just underscore that for me, why is it important for in a national situation for there to be a footballing philosophy? Isn't that more effective at the club level? Should Jamaica be preoccupied with that?
Yeah, I think it absolutely is necessary. Every single outstanding team in the world has a specific way in which they play. That play is what defines that team. That play is what makes the players who come in from all over the world, they're playing in different leagues, understand how we play and why we do what things we do, and it makes for a more effective and a more efficient and a more productive team. When you come this month and you have one coach and they want you to play this particular way, and then 2 months later you're being asked to play something completely different, the players don't have a clear idea of what they want to do. We've seen examples of that in the World Cup qualifiers, where a whole bunch of the English players came in and they looked like they were playing kick and run down on the field, and they lost badly to Panama at the National Stadium. If your players are clear on what their tasks are, individual tasks within the system of which we are supposed to be playing, naturally you're going to have a more efficient team that has a clearer understanding of what the goal is. I mean, other than to score goals, obviously, but how we get to the and create opportunities to score goals. And once you are able to do that, because the philosophy is established, I think you have a better playing team.
Hear you on that. All right, we're out of time. Let's take a break and come right back here on the SportsMax Zone.